Now hear me. I am the punishment of a God. Had your sins not been so great, God would not have sent a punishment like this, God, upon you. My end is drawing closer and closer. And one thing I am noticing is that people are not as complex as we would like to think we are. Many are very simple, just existing in their lives, their day-to-day routines, day in, day out, doing the same old things they do from one day to the next, never changing, ever the same. Like my next to prey, a normal guy who just likes to get high. Like many people his age, he's mad at the world, and he thinks everyone owes him something. He also has this cute little girlfriend. Much like him, she loves her weed. So I thought, why not have a little fun with these two? And prepare a little bit of a potent mix. I went out to the woods and found some poison sumac. Then I bought a little bit of weed. I rolled the weed and the sumac together and rolled up a nice fat joint, something I knew they would just want, they would just love to have. I invited them over. I told them that I was looking at upping my income, but seeing as I didn't smoke weed myself, I needed someone who could tell, well, if the stuff was good or not. These idiots were more than happy to oblige, and off we went back to my house. I took them down in the basement. We began talking. As we talked, I handed them this fat joint I had rolled. Their eyes widened with delight. At first, they kind of looked at each other, and she nodded to the boyfriend, and he said, "Are you sure, babe?" It was kind of hilarious to watch, actually, because they were really debating on smoking it. And that's one thing about potheads. I've never known them to debate on smoking it or not. But I guess because they only see me in passing, they thought they had a right to really question why I wanted them to do this. But doing what potheads do, they went ahead and smoked it. They even commented on how wonderful the flavor was, and even they would buy it. Well, that was until a few minutes later. As we were talking, they were getting ready to say goodbye, me thinking there's no way in hell this was working for some reason. I was about to go grab something to slay them with before we left because they could not leave my house. I needed these two. But all of a sudden, the girlfriend started saying she didn't feel too well. And the boyfriend soon after followed suit. They both started doing like heaving gestures like they were going to throw up, but they couldn't. And they were asking me to call 911. They said, please, please help us. We can't. I just looked at them. Turning red, the girlfriend fell to the floor. Her boyfriend, trying to make it over to her, collapsed to the floor as well and started crawling over by her. He stopped within about a foot of her. He didn't make it. Within a few minutes, they were both dead. Leaving them in my basement, I don't know. I just had to do something because my end is here. Today is the day I have picked to be the end. It is just one more kill to go until my ultimate end. One last kill, but this one is more of something I've always wondered about. I brought a woman to my home today and decided to strangle her. We had our fun, and now I was done. I have always wondered, what would a 50-gallon drum, some lye, water, and fire do? Well, I have an 8-pound bag of lye, The people at the feed store, well, they just sell it so cheap. It was less than $10. I told them I was making soap with it. So I loaded my fire pit with wood, put the drum over it, dropped the whole bag in. Then I proceeded to place her body inside the drum, and I filled it full of water. I lit the fire and noticed after a couple of hours the water started turning a tan color. In 4 hours' time, the fire finally started going out. So I left and come back 3 hours later and dumped out the barrel with the tan water in it. All that was left was bones. That was magnificent. I had never thought in a million years that this would actually have been an easier way to get rid of my prey. Her body was completely stripped of everything. All that was left was just bone. So I put on some gloves, grabbed a bag, and brought her bones in. Now I'm ready for the grand finale. I've laid her bones in my bed. This will be my last death beyond my own. As a god, I refuse to let a human disease be the reason for my death. I will be leaving in a manner of my own making. I had poured gasoline all throughout my house. I am writing this because I am saying goodbye. Goodbye to this earth. But my legacy will live on forever. The predator, even in death, I will come back as something that can never die. Once that happens, I will never be stopped. I will be the ultimate predator, the true God. My mortality was only in the beginning, and it was the beginning to my immortality. Now I shall forever be in everyone's memories, dreams, thoughts, nightmares. A legacy that shall live on forever. I am a god, and I am the Rabid Cannibal.